So I really don't care too much about the Kavanaugh Supreme Court hearings. He's an all right guy. I mean, he's not terrible, but he's not great. He could be better on a lot of issues. So really, I haven't followed it. But then I heard about this whole thing, and this is an article from the Mary Sue. There's a few articles on it, but not this one was the funniest. So I'm gonna go through this one because I love it. This is the woman appearing to flash white power signs during Brett Kavanaugh's SCOTUS confirmation hearing. So the woman's name is Zena Bash, as you can see in the. I guess you probably can't see how small it is. The title or the article's URL is themarysue.com/meet Zena Bash. So that's the woman. Yeah, apparently she flashed the. There she is. There she apparently flashed the OK sign, which you can see right there next to Brett Kavanaugh's shoulder. It is the OK sign. This thing. That you've probably heard before, used as an OK sign. It's used in memes. People just throw it into memes as a joke. It doesn't really mean anything within the memes. It's just a joke. Like, oh, someone added that in to a picture that originally wasn't supposed to have that in. It's just kind of a joke. But but people, especially on Twitter, which like I will fully admit, it's just a certain portion of the extreme crazies that just get absolutely nuts about everything. It's not like mainstream people getting upset about this, but it's just a woman flashing the OK sign in the back, which if you've looked into this for about 2 seconds, it was something that came up on 4chan, was created by 4chan as a white power symbol. If you've looked into this for more than 2 seconds, you know it's a joke. That's all it's meant to be, is a joke. When people saw that Pepe the Frog, which again, if you know about Pepe the Frog before the election, there are like a million different Pepes. People would take Pepe, they'd theme it, they'd assign some kind of theme to it, and then that'd be the meme. Like, it would be talking about the rarest Pepe. They'd make like there's a Wendy's Pepe. Take everything you can possibly think of, and there's a Pepe version of it. So people made a Trump Pepe because, again, it covers everything. There's like every kind of Pepe. So they made a Trump Pepe, and then people started saying, oh, it's a hate symbol. Now people are saying Pepe is a hate symbol since the election, and people on the internet thought, okay, the people making all these memes thought, okay, if we can, without any effort at all, can get people to think that Pepe is a white nationalist, like, hate symbol, then what happens when we jokingly try to make people think that the OK sign of all things is a hate symbol? So that's what they did. They made a few joke memes, like oh, this is supposed to be the three fingers sticking up is supposed to be the W, and right here, this is supposed to be a P for white power is the joke. That's how they made it. But that's all it was. It was literally a joke, seeing how upset they could make people over nothing. And I'll admit, it's hilarious. I think, like, I don't think this is bad, the people freaking out. I don't think this is a bad thing. It's funny. Like, laugh at it. This is hilarious. But anyway, so this is her here making the symbol. The video wouldn't load on the side I chose, so I'm going to play it here. I have it muted because it's just the lady on the left talking about gun violence or gun control or something. But they pointed out how, if you look at Zena Bash in the back, that she's to the right of Brett Kavanaugh, here she's going to look at her phone because she apparently got a text. So she's looking at her phone. Someone most likely texted her like, hey, just make the OK sign and see how people freak out or something. That's my guess as to what happened. And you'll see in a second she puts down her phone and then she makes the symbol right there. And she does it for a few minutes too. Again, like, I'll leave a link to everything I find in the description. She does it for a few minutes. It's not an accident. It's not something that's not normal. That's not something you can do on accident. It's clearly intentional. And so I know a few people have been like, oh, she didn't mean to do it. It's just how her hand looks. Like, if you look at it as a picture, sure, you might say, oh, that just might be how she held her hand at the moment. But she does it for a few minutes, and it's not something you do very naturally. So I think this is entirely intentional. And I don't know if she did this. If she, I should correct that. I don't know if she knew exactly what she was doing, or if someone just texted her and say, hey, do the hand symbol. They'll write news stories about you. People think mistakenly that it's a white nationalist thing, but it's really not. I wonder, that's my guess as to what the text said. Someone was telling her to do it via text because she did it right after then. That's my guess, but it's hilarious. It is a hilarious thing. And the Mary Sue, which is kind of like a feminist left-wing newspaper, it's not that popular, but I see it occasionally coming up on Google searches when I search for things like this, which you can see in my tab, I searched white power Kavanaugh and I found like 10 articles on it. Apparently, like, she served on Kavanaugh's payroll. They haven't really dug up any history that can tie her to anything like white nationalist or right wing. Like, I see no evidence that she's part of like the alt-right or anything. There's no evidence at all that I could find so far. In fact, I haven't verified this, but I have found a bunch of people claiming that she immigrated, or that on one side of her family she's Mexican or Hispanic, I guess, and another side of her family she's Polish Jewish. So she's both Jewish and Hispanic, and is apparently part of like the white nationalists. Which, again, I understand like how people can sometimes take their own identity out of things to support a movement that they believe in, but something like, I just find that strange. That why would you support a movement that would not want you part of it? Like, there's no evidence here that she's part of the alt-right or anything. It really seems that she's just doing it as a joke, and she seems aware of it, because again, like, why else would you do that? Unless she was trying to signal to someone else, like watching the thing that we don't know about. Maybe it's some secret conspiracy, I don't know. But I just think this is hilarious. And here Mary Sue is calling Stephen Miller ultra racist. Again, remember, Stephen Miller, the Jewish guy who was during a White House press briefing, was called out for referring to Jim Acosta's attacks as cosmopolitan, which apparently has some racist history behind it, according to these people. But yeah, so there's all they could connect her to. The worst thing they could find about her, at least on the Mary Sue article, was that her father had made a documentary, and he's extremely rich, called The Hoax of Man-Made Global Warming. So again, this is not a right-wing white nationalist issue. It's just, they found nothing. But yeah, apparently she received a text. That's where I got the video from. It wouldn't play when I just clicked it in there. They're accusing her of being so... Or yeah, they're talking about what the sign means. It originated with 4chan trolls, which is true, and has since been adopted as a symbol of the so-called alt-right. Racist, anti-Semites, and misogynists who may not engage in violent acts, but see those ideals as a form of trolling. Now, the alt-right, as far as I can tell, is like the Lauren Southern type, like the people who will... who are like, yeah, if all the white nationalists want to go and create their own country and stay away from... If they want to go create their own, like, country for white people only, as long as it's not oppressive to the people within it, then fine. That, like, I guess that's the kind of thing where they're like, yeah, to each their own. So they don't exactly seem racist. They just seem to be like, okay, like they can do their own thing over here as long as they're not being violent. Which, that's how I interpret it, at least, or at least how I've come to view it. But yeah, then it was picked up by a bunch of like right-wing white nationalist people. It was picked up by a bunch of people that this article would certainly, or this news outlet would certainly consider white supremacists, but definitely isn't. And again, it was picked up by 4chan trolls, by other trolls, and by other serious people who think it's a funny joke to continue pushing forward. Like, you see little bits here and there within the Trump administration of like the OK sign, and it's all a joke. Like, it's all a joke, which is why it's so hilarious that these people have freaked out about it. And it's like, when it comes to political activism, like, it's all about putting in a little bit of effort and making your enemies put in a lot of effort to like freak out about it. So I'm all for the white power, for the supposed white power hand symbol, because it's hilarious. It's a joke. And all you have to do is flash it somewhere and people freak out and probably cut years off of their life in stress. So maybe this is actually killing people when you think about it, that the amount of stress this is creating to certain people. But yeah, someone did explain it here, which again, they were partially right. I don't know who this guy is, but it began as a 4chan troll effort. True. But it has evolved into a symbol used by the alt-right, which is true. It's used as a symbol to troll people by the alt-right. The alt-right and also various MAGA-type Trump supporters. Most still use it to troll. Oh, and the lips. Yeah, it's a troll. Like, even like Richard Spencer types, I don't know if they've ever used it. They probably have. They'll use it as a joke. Again, like, it's just that they're like, yeah, it's not a bad symbol, because I agree with the white power stuff. Is like what the actual alt-right thinks when they use it. But yeah, it's a joke. Now, again, there's not much more to say about this article. It's just complaining. But yeah, even the Washington Post has actually taken the time to say there was no white power hand symbol at the Kavanaugh hearing, Zena Bash's husband says. Now, again, I guess her husband says it wasn't intentional, it wasn't an accident. I don't believe that. It was clearly on purpose. Like, that's a good picture of it. Again, if you try to do that, like, just try to sit like that for a few minutes, and it's surprisingly difficult. Like, it's not a natural thing to do. She was definitely self-aware, and it's a joke. So in that case, I'm all for it. But again, this is the best thing to come out of the Kavanaugh hearings, in my opinion. Again, I haven't watched them, so maybe there are things that have gone unreported that are hilarious. But yeah, it's a joke. It's hilarious. I recommend doing this to upset people as a joke. Like, it's just one big joke. And again, I have nothing against jokes. It's great. Do it. But I love this. It's just fantastic. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you actually do legitimately think it's a white power hand symbol, tell me why. Because again, all they can do is say that, yeah, people that we think are white supremacists use this, and people that are actually white supremacists use this. And it's like, yeah, that's still a troll. Like, it's still a joke. There are people that unironically and seriously believe in white supremacy and white nationalism, and those people are stupid. But this is just a joke, and I'm all for it. So, yeah, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.